So you did mention, being mindful is that first important part of executive presence. And you're hearing a lot about mindfulness. Where do you see this coming into the business world, and how important or imperative is it now?
It's a huge thing. And let me define mindfulness very quickly, briefly as well. Mindfulness is being aware of the present time, the present moment. Not just knowing what the time is, but knowing the environment. Who are the elements within this environment that you're operating within? Do you know these individuals? Do you know the audience you're working with? Do you know what they can achieve? They can know what values they can bring. If you're aware of these factors within the environment, you have mindfulness. Is being mindful of the present moment. Is it important in leadership? Yes, very important. Because if you're not aware, awareness, the self-awareness that we're talking about, to be aware of the moment, that doesn't just come naturally to you. That's a skill set too. Mostly, someone who is able to do this, he is emotionally intelligent. And to be emotionally intelligent, you have to go through some characteristics and factors you have to go through, right? It's not like, say, you woke up in the morning and say, I'm emotionally intelligent now, as defined by the theories. You have to be self-regulating your behavior, self-control. You have to good communication. You have to have empathy. Empathy, by the way, is different than compassion. I don't just advocate for empathy. Empathy is good, but I'm talking about compassion. If we add compassion to the equation, you become a higher caliber of a human being. Because empathy, let me give you an example of empathy. Empathy is you feel the feeling of others or the pain of others, where you put yourself in their shoes. So you start thinking, oh, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? The minute that moment is over, then you go and do your things. Mm-hmm. Doesn't that person stay behind with his good or bad things? Compassion is part of it. Empathy, you put yourself in their shoes, but you start thinking how to help them without anything in return, right? You start thinking how to help this individual to improve and be the best they can be. You inspire them without thinking of anything. And when you leave, you're not going to forget about that person. You're going to make a call to someone. Say, hey, how can we improve this homeless situation? How can somebody needs a computer, can we get them a computer, a software, something to improve their job environment? That's a compassionate leader. Compassionate leader is after he leaves the environment that he's mindful in or about, he will come back and improve it. He improves the conditions, or she improves the conditions of this environment they're in. So being empathetic, good. Being compassionate, awesome. It's awesome to be a compassionate leader. So this is how it is.
And, for yourself, Dr. Abraham, what has your journey been of evolving in terms of your own self-awareness? I know you've done a lot of research on emotional intelligence and leadership. So what kinds of practices have you adopted for yourself to bring you to where you are today?
Good. So mine, I really dealt with the opposite of the equation. I dealt with emotional, if I may use the term, emotional stupidity. It's not only emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, with all its factors and components, it leads someone to become self-aware, make the right decisions. Because the reason we improve all of that, we improve it for a purpose. At the end, we come up with the right decision, right? Emotional stupidity deals with what we do wrong for us to do the wrong decision. I have an article or two, and I have a book on the project that will be published, but the article is already published, where it deals with how to overcome emotional stupidity. And I have 7 factors where you have to address. I can provide you with the link, share with the audience if you like.
Sure, yes.
So if you are aware of what makes you fall and make you act in a way, parentheses, stupid, then you are starting to be aware that you made a mistake. Making a mistake and realizing that mistake, that's awareness. That's your first step into emotional intelligence, the awareness. Are you going to repeat the same mistake again? If you do, you don't have control. So you're not yet in the emotional intelligence sphere. If you stop that, that's mean you're getting a hold on it, and you have some self-control. Self-control is part of emotional intelligence. So we make you aware of your emotional stupidity, the individual, and how to overcome it. I guarantee that we're going to at least bring these individuals to a balance in between. emotional stupidity and emotional intelligence. They can still make mistakes and they will jump to this corner, or they're more aware and they will jump to this corner. So there's a balance in between. And this balance in between emotional intelligence or emotional stupidity will give you the balance you need in life, how to make the right decision. And I recommend if somebody who is in between to always seek the guidance of a higher authority or other, probably establish a team to make a decision because you're not yet certain on making the right decisions. Earlier when we talked about partnership. Do I prefer a partner or not? Mm-hmm. I personally don't prefer partnership. Reason, experience, or otherwise. Perception of it, not good. I may have a partner that is good, meaning a business. And that partner will come with decisions, will enhance my abilities. I'll be lucky. But sometimes you will have someone who is fortunate enough to be your partner, but he's in the balance in between. And he will make decisions that will make you in the company not look good. I prefer not to have that partner. See? So if you have partners that think alike, that's fine. So the balance in between emotional intelligence, emotional stability, that's something you will experience in most people, most managers now. They're not aware of their self-regulations, self-awareness, self-control, communication, empathy, because they've never been exposed to it.
Right.
And if they were exposed to it, very limited. It's not something they would learn on a regular basis.
And do you have a practice for yourself?
Reflection.
Okay.
Self-reflection every night. And I do this every night. 15 to 20 minutes. You go into a specific room that you're comfortable with you can do it outside, you can do it inside. As long as it's an environment, nobody can bother you. 15 to 20 minutes. Go through, you may write them down if you want. Go through what you've done during the day. What did you say? How did you act? Did you joke with someone? Did you hurt someone in your words? Did you praise them? Even praising, you have to reflect on. So make sure you do not praise people more than they deserve. Don't praise someone if he doesn't deserve it. So if I did praise someone, hey, you look good, and I mean it in a good way. You look good, your ideas are perfect, but in the meantime, I know they're not accurate. Was I accurate of my assessment of their values that they contributed? I reflect on that. So it's not only the negative, although the positive. That helped me through the years, and that helped me to improve as an individual too, as a human being, not only as a person with management skills or leadership skills, but as a human being, how you deal with others. And if you said something that hurt others, you promise yourself not to repeat it again. Because, it doesn't matter. We're human beings, we make mistakes. So reflection, self-reflection, 5 to 10 minutes every day, it's very much worth it to do.